Hello, trading is closed on March 21st, 2019. We'll go over our calls. I thought yesterday's pattern was negative. I looked for a target of 28.1946. We got that and found support under it. I said the ideal situation for the bears would be the gap under this low. That didn't happen. I said if we didn't go under this price of the FOMC announcement in style, we couldn't rule out hitting these price targets, which we did. And we'll cross all these off the list. Well, hitting this and finding support didn't shock me. Hitting this and finding resistance didn't shock me, but this wasn't part of the picture, although I'll make it part of the picture in just a minute, because I thought that high had a good chance of holding. I'm kind of giving up on these dates. Some of them work, some of them don't. That's not good enough for me. Somebody wants to copy these, fine. I gave it a shot. It worked retrospectively. It wasn't horrible prospectively, but not good enough for me, so I'm going to get rid of them. Okay, we looked for pattern with the early low. We got that. Tomorrow's pattern's the one with the early high. Doesn't mean you won't gap down first. Most of the time, especially on a Friday, it's a rally day, rally strong into the close. Having two strong rally days in a row doesn't usually happen, but nothing's impossible. This market's blown through a lot of plausible places for the rally to end. We rallied all day. We couldn't close over these highs. It's a negative pattern. We have lower MEJT targets. All this negativity goes away if we gap and promptly take out these highs. But if we don't, it's a different story. If we don't gap and take these highs out early, implausible as it seems, 28.48.94 is my target, most likely to print tomorrow. 28.34.48 is my target, most likely to print by Monday's first hour. And almost always we're going to see this one too. Now the pattern the pattern tomorrow is usually a good rally day, but if it fails, which is a small minority at a time, it drops in a straight line. So if we can't clear this early, I think there's a good chance we drop in a straight line, as implausible as it seems. And I'm not risking money on it now, but if it starts, I probably will. Let's go over the reasons. Early on, we got an ultimate sell signal. We got the minimum, and that's all. Almost always, we get more than the minimum. MEJT says this rally is false, predicts we'll come back to this line. Here we got an ultimate sell, ultimate buy pattern in the same complex. There's no law preventing a rally like this, but almost always when you get them in the same pattern, you just meander around and don't go anywhere. MEJT says that drop is false, now says this rally is false, we're coming back to this line. So MEJT distrusts the whole rally. Well, how can you stick with a call that at some point this rally is going to end after it blows through number after number? Well, this is the count I've been using, and if this is the right count, I can't make it work to end here. But if that's purple A, and purple B is actually here, and if this high holds, which hasn't been established yet, I can make it work, and it makes a pretty picture. The idea is that's your A and that's your B. And then we've made an A, B, C. And if that's A at 38.2, then that's C right at 100. So that, if it holds there, it implies we've ended wave C. And if that's the end of wave C, you'll see wave B has gone exactly as far above the end of wave A as it's gone below it. So it makes a pretty picture from that perspective too in terms of price. We've also completed 5 waves up with some good Fibonacci. That would be C of B. Now, timing was never my thing. I do most of my stuff based on price. But George Lindsay has a thing where he measures from low to low and he comes up with a high. And if that's the high, you can take this low and 100%, that's a low. It isn't a very impressive one though. But what is impressive is if you go to this low right here, so let me move it, I will. Likes to give me a hard time. Come on. You'll see it's even better than that if I can do this right. It's right there, and that low from back in October of 2012, and this low here ends right there. Well, you know, it's something you can look at retrospectively. If it works retrospectively, you'll say, I told you so. At least if today's high holds, you can make it work in times of time. You can make it work in times of price. I have to tell you, I'm not certain at this point this is going to work. There were some other places that looked like plausible ends for this rally too. But if we do have a big drop tomorrow, if we can't take these out, and I am going with these numbers, and if we keep dropping, it would make a very pretty picture for the end of the leg. It hasn't happened yet. We'll have to see if this high is going to hold or not. And that's today's call.